target audience. If I could boil down business, every book, every course that I've ever consumed into 2 words, it would be target audience. And this is especially true of sales and marketing. That aspect of business is misunderstood by many, many people, including my younger self. When I was younger, like you, I thought that sales and marketing were largely based on manipulation tactics. I thought that it was about tricking and convincing people into purchasing things that they didn't want, didn't need, and couldn't afford. But what I found was that sales and marketing are literally just you finding the right audience for the product or service that you have. In other words, you're finding people with the problem that you have the solution to. And in that way, sales is a very pure process. There's nothing manipulative about it. And this is something that, had I known when I was younger, I could have saved myself many, many, many thousands of dollars. Because if you look at my channel right now, I don't know what it's like at the time that you're watching it, but at the time that I'm filming this video, I don't get a lot of views compared to how many subscribers I have. And the main reason why is because I didn't understand target audience. I didn't understand that not everybody wants to see everything. And if I try to appeal to everyone, I end up appealing to no one. And so now I'm in a situation where some people subscribe to me because of my curly hair routines. Some people subscribe to me because of my no-fap videos. Some people subscribe to me because of my car life videos, because of my videos about living in the Netherlands, so on and so forth. I cannot feasibly please every target audience, and now I'm in a position where my channel may never fully recover. If you're a content creator, please keep that in mind as you go about creating content. And if you're a business owner or an aspiring business owner, keep that in mind as you go about starting your business. Target audience is literally the foundation of your whole entire brand. And target audience, if you don't know what that is you finding the people who want the thing that you have. That is literally all there is to it. Now, here's the cool thing. This doesn't just apply to business. What I found is that this also applies to romance. And what do I mean by that? Well, in order to help you understand what I mean, let me take you back to when I first started dating, 2019. I was making these Tinder videos, which by the way are still on my channel. You can go and watch all of them. I was making these Tinder videos and I wasn't really getting matches with girls that I liked. So at that point, it was just for content. But eventually, over time, I started getting more matches with women that I was actually attracted to. And so I started doing the Tinder Tuesday stuff. That's what the series was called at the time, Tinder Tuesday. I started doing my Tinder Tuesday tactics off camera. And eventually, I started to take it off of my phone altogether by going on dates with some of these women. And things would go very well initially. We'd go on a date, we'd have fun. We'd go on a second date, things would go even better. Then a third date, and sometimes even a fourth date. But for whatever reason, whenever it came time to sell the product that I had, which was a relationship with me, they never wanted to complete the purchase. They never wanted to complete that transaction. And I could not for the life of me understand why this was at the time. So the conclusion that I came to at 19 or 20 years old was that I was struggling with women because my product wasn't good enough. I figured, well, I'm just not a good enough product to be desirable to my target audience. And because of that, I got into self-improvement. And for me, a big part of my self-improvement was actually YouTube, interestingly enough. I used YouTube as an accountability system where I created this feedback loop, this echo chamber of other young men who were in the same position that I was in, where we had all been rejected by women or just rejected by society in general. And because of that, we decided that we were going to level up to become undeniably desirable to the people who had once rejected us. And this is precisely what I did. I became undeniably desirable. I ticked all of the boxes. I got my money up. I went from making $11.25 an hour working at a retail job, H&M, to making $5,000 a month on YouTube at 21 years old. I had my own apartment. I had a new BMW. I was dressing very nicely. I had done all of the looks maxing tactics that I've talked about on this channel. And things were going very well for me. And so I decided to put myself back out on the market. And I got even less interest than before. And I remember it absolutely blew my mind. How was I getting less matches on Tinder and Bumble and Hinge than I had been when I was broke working at H&M? I couldn't understand it. As a matter of fact, I couldn't even get girls to go on a date with me. I had one date during that time period, and that was the only date I got. Didn't even get a second date with that girl. I couldn't understand this for the life of me. Why was this happening? I did everything right. I did everything that they said I was supposed to do in order to get girls to like me. And it seemed like they liked me even less. Well, what I realized over time, and I didn't realize this until I started to talk with my current girlfriend, I realized that it wasn't about me. It was never about me. In other words, it's not that I wasn't good enough. It's not that my game wasn't strong enough. It's not that I wasn't good looking enough or didn't have enough money or all of these other excuses I had created in my head when I got rejected at 19 and 20 years old. What I realized was that I simply wasn't aligned with the right target audience. I wasn't putting myself in front of the right people. Therefore, with me improving myself, all I was doing was giving them a better version of something that they didn't want. Okay, this is an analogy I've used in the past, but if you're a chef and the people in your restaurant, the customers, they like hamburgers and that's what they want, and they don't like pizza, you can cook them the best pizza in the world. They're not going to want it because they don't like pizza. You can make them a mediocre hamburger. They will take the mediocre hamburger over the world-class pizza because they don't like pizza, they like burgers. In the same way, you need to understand that your target audience, the people that you are presenting yourself to, they might not want you. They might not want you fundamentally, and that is okay because there is a target audience out there that wants you. And again, this doesn't just apply to romance, this applies to YouTube or any other entrepreneurial endeavor as well. You have to put yourself in front of the right target audience. You see, whenever I got into my current relationship with my girlfriend, I didn't change my approach. Editor Jordan in the building. Before you say that the reason why she wanted to get in a relationship with me was because I was making more money and looked better and had all of the nice things, at the time that her and I got into a relationship, not only was I on the brink of homelessness, a fact that she was very well aware of, but I had also undid pretty much all of the looks maxing tactics that I had spent the previous few years implementing in my life. I had buzzed my hair, I had gotten rid of all of my nice clothes, including that nice Gucci belt that you saw in one of those pictures, and I was pretty much as down bad gets. I was at the rock bottom point of my life up to that point. I still had all of the same fears of getting rejected, and with this, it was even worse because she had been my friend for years prior. So I was afraid of throwing away that friendship with the only person who had really truly stuck by my side through all of the ups and downs that I had endured through the previous 4 or 5 years. But what I realized was that because she had stuck with me, I knew that she liked me for me, fundamentally. She liked me before I had the money from YouTube. She liked me before I had the car, before I had even been on my first date with the first girl who rejected me. She liked me before all of that stuff. Before I even dropped out of college and decided to pursue my dreams, pursue my purpose, whatever that purpose would be at that time. In other words, my aim was always good. I was just aiming at the wrong target. With my girlfriend, once I began applying all of the same tactics that I'd used in the past, which, by the way, none of it was manipulation tactics. It was just me presenting who I was to the woman. Once I did that with her, we didn't reach that barrier where she didn't want to get into a relationship because she wasn't ready, or all of these other excuses that girls threw my way in the past. Everything was seamless. It all just flowed effortlessly. And this is what will happen when you start aiming at the right target. How do you know what the right target is? How do you know which types of women to go for? Go for the women who already like you.